Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Journey with VIJAYKUMAR SHRIVASTAV. Today I am going to present the topic soil erosion. Before presentation, little introduction about myself. I am VIJAYKUMAR SHRIVASTAV. I have done M.Sc Agriculture with a specialization in Agronomy in 1996 from Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, and presently working in seed industry as a seed professional and associated with one of the M.Sc. So let's move to the presentation. What is soil erosion? Soil erosion is the detachment and transportation of soil material from one place to another through the action of wind, water in motion, or by the heating action of the raindrops. Soil erosion is the displacement of the upper layer of soil. It is one form of soil degradation. This natural process is caused by the dynamic activity of erosive agents like water, wind, ice, snow, plants, animals, and humans. Soil erosion is a process in which the top fertile layer of soil is lost. Due to soil erosion, the soil becomes less fertile. The top layer of soil is very light, which is easily carried away by wind and water. The removal of topsoils by the natural forces is known as soil erosion. Soil erosion is a complex process which is depending on various factors like soil properties, ground slope, vegetation, rainfall amount and its intensity, wind velocity, runoff, changes in land use, and conservation measures. It has long been recognized that erosion is excess of soil production amount eventually results in decreased agriculture potential, although soil fertility generally declines with accelerated erosion. Now we will discuss about causes of soil erosion. There are various factors like first is wind. When strong winds blow, the topsoil along with the organic matter is carried away by the wind. This happens more often when the land is not covered with grass or plants. Such conditions are very common in deserts and semi-deserts region where strong winds blow very frequently. Second factor is water. When it rains in the hilly areas, the soil gets washed away towards the plains. The running water deposits the mineral-rich soils in the riverbed, and over the years this decomposition of soil can change the course of the river. This can lead to floods which cause the destruction of life and property. Water erosion leads to loss of agriculture potential. In plains also, while cultivation, if there are rains, the losses of soil and or soil erosion carried away by the water molecules. Third factor is overgrazing. When cattle are allowed to graze on the same field repeatedly, all the available grass, including the roots, are eaten by them. This makes the topsoil vulnerable to wind, and flowing water leads to soil erosion. And fourth factor is deforestation. Humans have taken land from forest to cultivable in order to feed the ever increasing population and to build houses, industry, etc. Cutting down of trees on a large scale for these purposes is deforestation. The roots of trees hold the soil together, thus preventing the soil from getting uprooted. When large areas of the forest are cleared, the topsoil gets eroded by wind and flowing water, which is causing the erosion. Generally, soil erosion is of two types. First one is water erosion and second is wind erosion. In case of water erosion, the main factor is water. The removal of soil from the land surfaces by water in motion. And second, wind erosion. Movement of soil particles is caused by wind force exerted against or parallel to surface of the ground. So these two main erosions are responsible for soil erosion. Here we will discuss about different types of soil erosion. Soil erosion is divided in two types. First is water erosion and second is wind erosion. Again, water erosion is of different types like raindrop or splash erosion, sheet erosion, rill erosion, gully erosion, stream channel erosion, and mass movement erosion. And wind erosion is three types: saltation, suspension, and surface creep. We will discuss about each and every erosions in next coming chapters. Now we will discuss about water erosion. First one is raindrop or splash erosion. In this erosion, raindrops falling on bare soil detach particles and splash them up into the air. So this is the erosion which takes place in case of rainy season or during rains. Now we'll discuss about second type of water erosion, sheet erosion. When there is little water at the soil surface, the water tends to run over the soil surface as a thin sheet, causing sheet erosion. This is removal of a thin, relatively uniform layer of soil particles by the action of rainfall and runoff. The characteristics of seed erosion. This is extremely harmful, usually so slow that the farmer is not conscious of its existence. This is occurring on common on lands having a gentle uniform slope, and this is results in the uniform removal of the cream of the topsoil with every heavy rain. Shallow topsoil overlies a tight subsoil are most susceptible to seed erosion, and movement of soil by raindrop splash is the primary cause of seed erosion. Means this is the advanced version of rain splash erosion. Seed erosion has damaged millions of hectares of sloping land throughout the India. So this is the main erosion type. Third type of water erosion is rill erosion. This is the removal of soil by running water with the formation of shallow channels that can be smoothed out completely by normal cultivation. There is no sharp lines of demarcation where seed erosion and rill erosion begins, but rill erosion is more readily apparent than seed erosion. Rills develop when there is a concentration of runoff water which is neglected, grow into large gullies. More serious in soils having a loose shallow topsoil, and the transition stage between seed erosion and gully erosion. Fourth type of water erosion is gully erosion. Removal of soil by running water with the formation of channels that cannot be smoothed out completely by cultivation. This is the advanced stage of rill erosion. Any concentration of surface runoff is a potential source of gulling. Cattle paths, cart tracks, dead furrows, tillage furrows, or other small depression down a slope favors concentration of flow. Unattended rills deepen and widen every year and begin to attain the form of gullies. Unattended gullies may result over a few years for an entire landscape to be filled with a network of gullies, more spectacular than other types of erosion. Rill and gully erosions are due to the energy of water that has concentrated and is moving downslope. As water concentrates, it first forms a small channels called rills, followed by greater concentration of water. Large concentration of water leads to gully formation. Some of the highest soil erosion rates occur at construction sites where the vegetation has been removed and the soil is exposed to the erosive effects of rain. The tendency of water to collect into small rills that colleges to form large channels and produce gully erosion. Fifth type of water erosion is stream channel erosion. This is the erosion caused by stream flow, and this closely resembles rill erosion. And intensive channel erosion areas are on the outside of lands where flow shear stresses are high. Means if the water stream flow is very high, it will cause the damage more. Sixth type of water erosion is mass movement. This is the in mass movement of soil which is caused by landslides, landslips, soil and mud flow are various forms of mass movement. Now we will discuss about wind erosion. Wind erosion is indirectly related to water conservation in that a lack of water leaves land barren and exposed to the wind. Wind erosion is greatest in semi-arid and arid regions. Blowing dust was a serious hazard of early settlers on the plains and was one of the first problems studied by the scientists. There are various types of wind erosions where the soil particles are moving in three ways during wind erosion: saltation, suspension and surface creeping, and we will discuss about each erosion in next slides. First type of wind erosion is saltation. During saltation, fine soil particles having the size 0.1 to 0.5 mm in diameter are rolled over the surface by direct wind pressure, then suddenly jumped up almost vertically over a short distance to a height of 20 to 30 centimeters. Once in the air, particles gain in velocity and then descended in as almost a straight line, not varying more than 5 to 12 degrees from the horizontal. The horizontal distance traveled by a particle is 4 to 5 times the height of its jump. On striking the surface, the particles may rebound into the air or knock other particles into the air before coming to rest. The major part of soil carried by wind moves by this process. About 93% of the total soil movement via wind takes place below a height of 30 centimeters. Probably 50% or more movement occurs between 0 to 5 centimeters above the soil surface. Second type of wind erosion is suspension. Very fine dust particles having the size less than 0.1 mm are protected from wind action because they are too small to protrude above a minute viscous layer of air that clings to the soil surface. As a result, a soil composed of extremely fine particles is resistant to wind erosion. These dust-sized particles are thrown into the air chiefly by the impact of particles moving in saltation. Once in the air, however, their movement is governed by wind action. They may be carried very high and over long distance via suspension because these are having the very small particle size. Third type of wind erosion is by surface creeping. Relatively large sand particles having the size 0.5 to 1 mm in diameter are too heavy to be lifted by wind action, but they are rolled or pushed along the surface by the impact of particles during saltation. Their movement is by surface creeping. 50 to 75% of wind erosion is by saltation. 3 to 40% of wind erosion is by suspension, and 5 to 25% is by surface creep erosion methods. From these facts, it is evident that wind erosion is due principally to the effect of wind on particle of a size suitable to move in saltation. Accordingly, wind erosion can be controlled if soil particles can be built up into pads or granules too large in size to move by saltation. The wind velocity near the soil surface is reduced by ridging the land, by vegetative cover, or even by developing a cloudy surface. And strips of stubbles or other vegetative cover are sufficient to catch and hold particles moving in saltation. So saltation is the main process by which this type of three wind erosions are taking place. So this was all about soil erosion, its factors and types of erosion. My presentation ends here. Thank you very much. See you again shortly. I have given here my YouTube channel details, Journey with VIJAYKUMAR SHRIVASTAV. Having request, please visit the channel, subscribe it, and provide your valuable feedbacks for further improvements in next coming presentation. Thank you.